live stream. What's up, guys? Am I live? What's going on here? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Crypto Weekly Review live stream, home of the Wolf Pack. If you are here right now, why don't you go ahead and buy the dip on the like button. Let's go on and get on the like button. It's good for the algorithm, and it's a lot better than me posting a bunch of like YouTube shorts and snippets to pump the algorithm. Those are annoying. This is going to be a whole lot better. So what's up with the Wolf Pack? All of the usual suspects are in here. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to Last. Milan Tank. What's up, Pascal? What is going on, man? There's a lot of FUD inside the markets right now. We have Binance halting Binance halting USD withdrawals. We got Kraken having SEC issues. We also have possibly a ban on staking for Ethereum. That's crazy. You know, I thought BNB was the Ethereum killer, but it turns out that I guess it's probably the SEC. What's up, Funding Jim, man? Thanks for being here. What's up, WW3? Yes, finesse the like button. So we're going to jump into this today. It looks like we did have a little bit of FUD going on in the Pulsechain ecosystem. It looks like out of the 6 million blocks that need to be synced to get V3 going, it's actually stuck with 15,000 blocks left. We do have a bug right there, which is going to give us an opportunity to buy more Hex, because Hex is dumping right now. Literally everything is dumping right now. We are going through a little bit of a correction, and I'm here to FUD so that you can buy in because you missed this rally, okay? So let's get after it. Like, we're looking at Bitcoin right now on the daily chart. Technically, this is where you're supposed to buy. You can see the 21 exponential moving average. It had the little baby golden cross right here. A golden cross is coming probably by the 14th or 15th. A Valentine's Day golden cross is in the cards. We have a nice little correction. All the bearish divergence has played out. You can see we were making higher highs right here, but we were making higher lows right here on the RSI. Okay, so that has played out. You can see we are confluent now. So this is the bearish divergence playing out right now as we speak. You can see we flushed all the way back in under the bear abla. We are back in the Bermuda Triangle right here. Technically, this is where you're supposed to buy, right? We're finding the daily uptrend right now. We're fighting for support on this right here. You can see we are holding. We've been holding it all day long. It just shows you how relevant this trading strategy really is. Technically, this is where you're supposed to buy, but I am not buying, and it's because the overall macro markets. Remember, on this channel, this is the only channel that talks about Hex, Pulsechain, and also talks about macro. Also, on this channel, macro is our base case, and it's worked very, very well because crypto is just a small pond. There is a giant ocean out there of money, and the S&P 500 is the perfect gauge of that. So we've been following the macro markets, the Fed, and we have a big bearish engulfing candle right here. It's signaling that the market is accelerating to the downside, and we are going to get a bigger correction. And if the S&P is dumping, it's going to drag the crypto markets down with it. So I'm not really jumping into this right now. I'm not really jumping into the 21 EMA because the macros are looking a little bit bearish, but that is until the 14th. That is until Valentine's Day, where I believe we're going to have another frenzy rally, and we are going to get into that. There is one more thing though. If you take a look at Bitcoin on the weekly chart, dude, this is the first death cross on the weekly chart in Bitcoin's history. If we zoom out, that's a clear cross right there. If we zoom out right here, you can see this yellow line. That's the 200 EMA. This purple line is the 50 EMA. And if you follow this all the way around, you can see the 200 EMA was the support for the bottom of the previous bear market. The bear market bottomed on this line right here. So did Cozy 19. You can see these candle body closes. That's not a coincidence. The 200 EMA is very relevant, and you can see this purple line. The 50 has never crossed. In the history of Bitcoin, it has never crossed until now. So what does that mean? What that tells me is I'm actually not bearish about this. What that tells me is Bitcoin has never been this oversold. Okay, I know that's a little bit crazy, but look, everywhere I look, on every macro channel, on not a lot of crypto channels, but like the traditional finance guys, everywhere I look, it's like CBDC, everyone's gonna eat bugs, we're all gonna be locked in our house. I see like the mortgage rates are too high, the housing market is going to implode. I see that people bought cars, brand new cars with very low interest rates, and that is a subprime bubble that's gonna burst. We're all gonna die. There's Chinese balloons and all this stuff. And it's like, I am like completely worn out with all the bearish news and all of the FUD. And I'm looking towards the bright side because of this, because of the overall macro markets. Okay. So this is the chart. Bitcoin cryptocurrency is very cyclical. You can see 500 days before the halving. This is our accumulation zone. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not saying that I'm going crazy and just going all in right here. Like there's going to be a bunch of crazy ass volatility coming up. But technically, for the entire Bitcoin's history, this has been the accumulation zone. And right after the halving, we've had our moon pumps and our rallies. Remember the November 28th theory and hypothesis. This is another version of it right here. You can see we have just entered the accumulation zone. So I have just started accumulating. You know, like I bought Hex, I bought Polygon, I bought all kinds of stuff. I got some NFTs. But this time around, for this dip that's coming right now, I'm going to be focusing more on Hex because there is a lot of news coming around on Hex. There's 15,000 more blocks to go before this thing is live. Before V3 is live, once the bug is fixed. And I think it's going to pump Hex like absolute crazy. If we take a look at the crypto bubbles, all right, this right here is very, very telling, a lot more than you think. If we take a look at the month, you can see AGIX, obviously, you know, it's an AI coin. This is the most telling right here. This is showing you what the blue chips, what the big movers, where the hype is going to be in this next cycle, in this next bull market. You can see Hex is up here at 121%. Like it's boxing with the big dogs. I think it's like number 3. You know, you have DYDX, you have Aptos, you have AGIX, which is an AI coin. You know, you have Optimism over here. I mean, dude, let's think about this for just 1 second. We're talking about the top 5 best performing coins in 2023, and Hex is one of them. And that's the one that I know, and that's the one that I know has actual hype going into it, going into the next bull market. You know, AGIX is back from the dead, okay? This thing is resurrected. Nobody gave a shit about this before ChatGPT, right? So like, I'm really not that interested into it. I'm actually probably gonna pick up Viot. But we're talking about, dude, with new cycle, new accumulation phase, and what's pumping, what's in the top 5, Hex. So this time, as I'm averaging in for this next dip, and we'll talk about where, is going to be a lot. I'm gonna kind of focus on Hex on this one because, you know, Pulsechain version 3 is coming. And, you know, we have already seen the massive hype. Actually, if you look at Ivan on Tech, he was talking earlier, he was saying that Hex has some of the most hype. Now, we have known that Richard is supposed to stream with Ivan, right? He was supposed to stream earlier in January, but it never happened. Why? I believe it's because he's going to stream with Ivan on Tech, one of the biggest YouTubers in crypto. He's going to stream with him when Pulsechain version 3 is ready. And what I think he's going to be talking about is, yo, version 3 is live. It'll be interesting, but on a side note, it'll be interesting to see if the automated market maker is online on this thing. That's how we're going to know how close, and that's how we're going to judge on how much FOMO we have after V3 is live, which is just around the corner. Probably 2 weeks. I didn't really actually...
4 more weeks.
I didn't actually
4 more weeks.
mean to say that, but yeah, probably like a week or 2 before they fix this bug right here. You know, they've uploaded these clients, and Aragon right now is not syncing. So that's the thing right here. Aragon is not syncing right now, but it will be online momentarily. But anyways, so what I think Richard is going to say is, okay, if you missed Pulsechain and you missed Pulse X, you can't sacrifice right now. You'll be way too diluted by the bonding curve, right? So if you want to actually do this, if you want to be a part of it, the best way to get in is through Hex. So we're talking about going on Ivan on Tech, probably a BitBoy. You know, Ivan on Tech went $100,000 into Pulsechain. Like, he's going to be shilling it, all right? It's his bag. Then we also got BitBoy. We know that he went in. He's already admitted it. This was like a year and a half ago. I did a video on it. So you're telling me that what I believe the narrative is going to be once V3 is live is like, dude, listen, the snapshot's not done. If you want to get into Pulsechain, the most liquid pair is going to be PLSD and Hex. You know, so this is going to be your chance. You know, so I really think that like a moon pump is very highly probable. What about AGIX? What's their thing? They're gonna have a DEX aggregator. Big deal. We have 1 inch. You know, like what's the big news there? There is no big news. I mean, it's hyping just off ChatGPT hype. But we're looking at Hex and we already know there's going to be big news. Not trying to get you to FOMO and be crazy or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, I'm sticking to what I know on this one. And I can just feel that Pulsechain is so close. And the best way into Pulsechain for the normies, because let's face it, a lot of people that are in Richard Hart universe miss Pulsechain, so they did PulseX. You know, not a lot of people went in. So like, I just think that the on-ramp, the early on-ramp is going to be through Hex. That's why I'm so freaking bullish on it right now. And I'm hoping it actually dips a little bit more. So yeah, like we could take a look at Hex right now. You know, we got like a bearish engulfing candle right now. That's freaking awesome. What I'm looking at right now, and it's depending on what BTC is going to do, because I believe that BTC is going to set a swing low. And it's not going to be overnight. You know, I believe that it's going to set a swing low. I think it's going to drag down Hex. And, you know, like we have a delay on Pulsechain, you know. So, like, I think that it could possibly dump. And a good place to buy. You can see it got support on the 21 exponential moving average right here. You see it found some support here. One good place to buy is at 4 cents because you can see there's a range built right here. But really what I'm looking at is the 21 exponential moving average now. I did buy when I was DCAing, like I said, I'm in accumulation phase. I did buy right here, just below 3 cents, just below like maybe 0.28 or 2.8 cents or something like that. So it'd be nice to see if it'll come back down here and find some support. Right now we're finding support on the previous high, which is bullish. You see we're finding support right here. And I think it's going to break. I think that we're going to go through a little bit of a correction here. We've had an amazing rally. I mean, look at this on the month. Like, dude, we're going to probably cool down just a little bit. So, anyways, with that, I had to jump right into the Hex thing, man. Sorry about that, guys. But like, I got a bunch of news to report too. But dude, this is what I'm looking at right now. This is what I think is going to pump going into Pulsechain. Everybody wants a new layer 1. ETH fees are already high. It's been up to like 150 gwei, something like that. You know, so this is what I'm looking at. It's already in the top 5 movers. Like, dude, this is the signal of what you should be into this cycle. FTM, AGIX, Aptos, DYDX, and Hex. The best movers for this cycle. It's going to be freaking exciting. All right. Let me jump into the chat. Are we buying Hedron? That's a good question. Since we started out strong in the Richard Hart universe, let me pivot into this right here. So once we do get Pulsechain live and going, there isn't going to be a bridge right away. It's all going to be trading within the Pulsechain universe before it bridges on. So like, where's the liquidity going to be, right? The coins that are going to have the most attention are the ones that are already going to have front ends. They're already designed for Pulsechain. You know, it's going to be the world's largest airdrop. All the coins are going to be copied over and all that stuff. But what are the ones that are going to be active? You know, where's the liquidity going to be? Let me turn myself off really quick. Look, you know, like Pulse Bitcoin, Hedron, Liquid Loans, you know, and Pulse Doge, all these guys right here, this is where the liquidity is going to be. So when people come into the ecosystem, that's what they're going to gravitate to. So I would say, you know, I have a lot of people messaging me and they're like, yo, when should I sell? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, why are you trying to sell? Like, we're just starting out in the next cycle. Like, we're just growing into it. So I'm looking at stuff like my Hedron bags, you know, my Icosa bags, my Pulse Bitcoin bags, my ASIC bags, like we're going to see a pump because I think like the tide of Pulsechain is going to lift all these boats up. And I think people are going to sell prematurely, and don't make that mistake for some of this stuff. Sure. I mean, I'm going to take some profits on Hex. I have a lot, you know, right now I have a lot liquid. I haven't been selling since I sold 45 cents. So like, I'm going to sell some, I'm going to ride some through, but I'm going to sell a little bit so I have some liquidity to like chase whatever dumps, you know, because like obviously once people get their P Hex, they're going to be swapping it like crazy for Pulse PLS. You know what I mean? So like I want to have some liquid money sloshing around in there, and whatever's the most oversold. Like I believe that P Hex and I believe that PLSX are going to be severely oversold because people are using those to try to get into Pulse. So I'm heavy on Pulse because I did day one. So I'm going to be buying the PLSX. You know what I mean? I'm going to be buying the P Hex dip. So, and I want some liquidity. So yes, I'm going to sell, but it's way too early to even think about selling. I mean, the shills haven't even happened yet. Like we still haven't really had Richard on with Ivan on tech. Richard knows how to pump. Richard knows how this whole thing works. And I've been around for a long time too. You know, I've been around since early 17 and I know how I would handle it. I've been through plenty of forks. I've been through the Bitcoin Cash fork, you know, like I've been through forks. I know how they work. And I got to tell you, like the snapshot is on this and this date. And if you want to into Pulsechain early, it's through Hex. So I'm not even thinking, I'm thinking about buying. I'm not even thinking about selling. People ask me like, what are my targets for selling? Like, dude, I have no idea, dude. This has like 3 million in liquidity. The craziest shit, like it could really pump. Like you have no idea. So yeah, this is exciting, dude. The times are getting better. And I'm not afraid of these dips. I'm hoping for more dips. I mean, I'm not gonna FUD, but like I'm hoping that this shit comes back down and gives me another entry to buy. Because I believe that, you know, once all this stuff starts rolling out, it's gonna melt faces. And Richard knows that. He knows that once you're the big bubble, you know, everybody's looking, everybody's watching, everyone's watching the biggest movers. People aren't dumb, and they're trying to jump in on the biggest movers. So like that is just a perfect storm. And then like, you know, you got the highest of stakes, things like that. Like everything's kind of like lining up in a row, you know, like it's all like lining up to be like a massive epic face melting rally to where like Richard's gonna do like a promo run. You know, I was thinking about this the other day too. I'm like, dude, Richard's been really quiet, and he's just really been like posting based like nothing crazy, no flexing, nothing like that. It just reminds me of like when you know, the outrage marketing, nobody's a fan of it, you know, nobody really actually likes it. But it just reminds me of like, you know, maybe when like a celebrity kind of goes through like a big like media storm or something like that, they kind of fall off and then they do the talk shows and they're like super base and like winning back the hearts and minds. I really feel like that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to show up on Ivan on Tech. I think he's going to show up on BitBoy. He's going to be like that base, like red pilled freaking savant that he usually is. That they call it the black t-shirt Richard or whatever. Dude, it's just a perfect storm for like a massive pump. So with that, I'll jump into the chat a little bit. I had to get that off my chest. What's going on, guys? True. No, what's up? Our Dreams, shout out to you. Welcome back. Do you think Pulse will be on exchanges, no gatekeeping? That's a good question. I don't see why not. The only thing that I would say is that, you know, like the OA owns a lot of it, so maybe like people will stay away from it. Depending on what exchanges, I know that he said that they're already working on one big exchange. I don't know what it is. I heard people were saying it's Poloniex, but with the SEC kind of like cracking down and being really strict on exchanges right now, I wouldn't expect it to be on an exchange right away. But I guess it would definitely have to come out. Like, let's see what the narrative is when it comes out. Let's see if we're going to be like gate kept or anything like that first, and then I can like come to a better determination. But as far as like Binance, I don't know if it's a layer one. Like, look, Binance wants to list things that have liquidity and that have trading volume. That's how they make their money. If Pulsechain is like putting up a ton of numbers and people are super interested, it's going to be on there. I don't think that it's going to be just be on there right away. I think it really is just like how Hex has always been the underdog. I think it's going to be an underdog game again. You know, it's going to be like make people submit like by the fact of just being awesome. You know, and that's kind of like what happened with Hex. Is like Hex was just a good DeFi protocol. It was a good staking platform. It was fun. It had a lot of like, it was gamified. It was Ponzi-fied. You know, it was fun and it pumped and it got everybody's attention. I think Pulsechain is going to have to do the same thing. I think that, you know, we're not going to get any breaks. I don't think that, you know, we got to win against all, you know, against the sentiment, because the sentiment is probably not also going to be good. So it's always an uphill battle for Richard Hex community. Everybody's used to it. And I think that's what really made a lot of Hexkins a lot stronger too. I think that's what made the community so tight knit, is because everybody was always against the Hexkins. You know what I mean? So like that's what made them the force that they are today. That the strongest like token force on Twitter right now, and nobody's denying it at this point. Hexkins are the strongest. Like right, maybe Bitcoiners are better, like not better, but like more vocal. It's like Bitcoiners and Hexkins, you know what I mean? Basically. And I think that that's a contributing factor on how that happened, is because everybody was just, they're the underdog, so they had to fight harder, you know? They had to shill harder. What's up, guys? WW3, I heard some rumors that PLS can be listed on an OKX, but I'm not sure if that's confirmed. Yeah, I think I actually heard that too. I actually heard OKX as well. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it's gonna, if it's putting up numbers, if it has volume and it has interest, then yeah. And you know, but it's gonna bump. You got like Liquid Loans and all these guys, you know, like no reason to sell. I mean, it's being like, people are actively already gamifying it and ready to pump the shit. It's Hexkins, man. What do you expect? Robert Mack, Hex is a smart play right now. Absolutely. 3.5, baby. Let's hope so. What's up, Kosher Warrior? PLSX was me. Julian Fisher, time for accumulation of BTC is still losing dominance since 1 year. Well, actually, BTC had a big dominance run. Let's check it out. It's BTC.D. Let's take a look. Yeah, you know, it had a big dominance run as of like January. Well, you know, like it kind of bottomed out here. I drew a channel on this like long ass time ago. Let's see if it's still here. Yeah. So yeah, you know, like it kind of bottomed out for dominance right here at about 39.5% in the 9th of September 2022, and it's actually been rallying and pumping. Nothing like compared to before, but it did have a nice dominance run during this year's rally. So now it's definitely correcting. People are going into altcoins more. So yeah, that's a good sign for me, because yes, I hold a lot of BTC, but like I said, it's just retirement for me. I'm not gonna touch it, not for years and years. But there is actually some crazy BTC FUD. I gotta bring this up. This is like, I have seen Bitcoin guys losing their shit about this. All right, so there's a new thing where it's called ordinals for Bitcoin, where you can actually put NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain itself, right? And there's a lot of NFT projects that are going on the Bitcoin blockchain right now. And Bitcoin guys are losing their mind about this, because the old trope of 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin, not anymore. That's not true anymore, because somebody paid 1 Bitcoin for 1 Satoshi. And that Satoshi is loosely connected to an NFT. So like Bitcoin people are freaking out, because they're like, dude, like one Bitcoin don't equal a Bitcoin anymore. People are buying NFTs on Bitcoin blockchain, clogging the network, and kind of making newbies confused on what's the actual value of Bitcoin. So like, we always thought that like, oh, the government's gonna shut down Bitcoin, or there's gonna be a bug that's gonna kill Bitcoin. Turns out it's this picture right here of whatever the hell this is. Imagine if this clogs up, like these NFT projects clog up Bitcoin, which can only process a few transactions per second. It clogs up Bitcoin and renders it unusable. Maybe a lot of the Bitcoin guys will jump into other projects, maybe ETH or whatever, but really it's kind of bearish, because Bitcoin is kind of the standard of cryptocurrency. It is definitely not a security. It is a commodity. It works like gold. So it's highly adopted. Even countries are using it, like nation states are using it. So I think it's bearish. Actually, like if I were to be completely honest, you know, if Bitcoin is destroyed by this thing, we're living in a simulation. Like, what? So like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of not cool to buy a Satoshi with a Bitcoin. It's kind of not cool. It kind of makes things convoluted. That's the word I was looking for. It muddies up the water for Bitcoin. This is the huge FUD, and I can see why people are losing their mind over this. Like, put it on a layer 2. Stop putting shit on the Bitcoin blockchain. Stop putting JPEGs on the Bitcoin blockchain. What do you guys think? Should we put Wolfpack NFTs on Bitcoin? Wolfpack NFT Bitcoin attack. Everybody sell your Bitcoin. It's done. It's clogged. Everybody go to Pulsechain where there's Wolfpack NFTs. I'll single-handedly, our community will single-handedly take down Bitcoin. So yeah, that's you know, like that's what everybody's talking about. You know, it's kind of going into like we're going into a correction. So everybody's like FUDing again. You know, like there's a ton of FUD going around. In fact, we can go ahead and talk about the FUD with Brian Armstrong saying that they're hearing rumors that the SEC would like to get rid of crypto staking in the US for retail customers. I hope that's not the case, as I believe it would be a terrible path for the US if it was allowed to happen. All right, so let's read between the lines over here, because you're seeing all these headlines, all these people talking about, oh, the SEC is going to ban staking. Bro, that's not how it works. The SEC can come up with a case and present it in front of a judge, and then the judge can accept to take on the case or not. The SEC cannot take down XRP. So XRP, nobody gives a shit about XRP except the people who bought in 2017 and are bag holding. You know, like, it's literally pointless. They had a crowd sale. They have headquarters. They have buildings. They have like towers or whatever. They have headquarters all over the world. You have expectations of profit from the work of others, because they're supposed to on-ramp all these banks. XRP is an open and shut case. It's a slam dunk for the SEC. What's happened? It's been 2-3 years. What's happened? Jack shit. Like, they still haven't had a resolution. They can't even take down XRP. Like, how are they going to take out the Ethereum Foundation? How are they going to ban staking? Okay, they can't just be like, it's not like an executive order from President Biden, or he would just like ban staking, whatever, scribble some shit down, send it down the road, and then staking's banned. It don't work like that. If they actually take on the case against the Ethereum Foundation, against Coinbase, against staking and all this shit, they have their work cut out for them. You know, they have and also, I don't know if there's like some sort of, you know, it's been 10 years since the crowd sale of Ethereum. So like, I don't know if they still have like any kind of jurisdiction or authority. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know, but like, it's so improbable. If you want to read in between the lines, what Brian Armstrong is saying is they have a huge staking pool for Ethereum, and they're making a percent off of everybody. That is their cash flow. They're worried about the centralized exchanges having staking pools. You know what I mean? So they're worried about their own actual business model. So it's a giant FUD headline that gets clicks for people like Watcher.guru, but it's actually not a thing. You know, like, it's actually, I am not worried about this right here at all. If there is a lawsuit against Ethereum, you know what I mean? It will dump the price and crypto will hurt. But I mean, it's going to be a long drawn out thing. And we're already going to be retired. You know, Hex is already going to pump. Pulsechain's already going to pump. It's going to take years. You know, if this lawsuit happens, it's a buying opportunity. You know, and that's by the way what I'm looking for. I'm looking for buying opportunities right now. Like I said, this right here, not that. This right here is what I'm looking at. This has been, let me disappear myself. Let me Houdini real quick. So this right here has been the trend since the beginning of cryptocurrency. Are you going to bet that this is going to end now? This time is different? That we're not in the accumulation phase right here? I wouldn't bet against that. Now, I'm not saying that there can't be volatility, which there will be, and I'm sort of like counting on that, you know, because I have a big bag. I sold 65K, I sold Hex 45 cents. and I'm trying to like average in, and I'm trying to do it slowly so that I can catch these dips. That's the whole point of it. You know, if you blow your whole load right now, then it's like, then you're just biting your nails, you know? I'm waiting to buy these dips. And yes, I might be shut out and it might run away from me, but I still win because it went up. You know what I mean? Like I'm still going to make money. I'm just trying to keep some liquid and stay liquid and be calm and not FOMO too hard, because right now you can see right here, we're just beginning. This is just the beginning. So don't be at the edge of your seat, relax, have fun, and buy Hex. Because, you know, like right now, because of the state of where Pulsechain and how close it is, it's like 15,000 blocks away from V3. Because we're that close, you know, I'm actually going to focus on just buying Hex right now. But I am into, like, you know, I'm probably going to buy Viot. I'm probably going to buy AGIX once it cools down. I'm going to buy more Polygon. I'm going to buy more Doge. I'm going to buy more Shiba. Just because I don't, you know, like, I'm not a Richard Hart Maxi. Like, I like other coins and I like to place other bets. Remember, all you literally got to do is look at the Bitcoin bubbles. It's telling you what's popping. It's telling you what's going to be hot this cycle. So, you know, and Hex is one of the top ones. So where am I going to look at buying? I don't know what happened there. I got an alert. Sorry about that if I blew your eardrums out. Look at that baby dump too. 4.5 cents. The next big support right here. But yeah, 3.5 cents is where I'm going to be looking at. Now we are about to get a golden cross. So let's go back to Bitcoin really quick. I know I kind of jumping around here, but going back to Bitcoin really quick. Holy shit. Oh, what happened, guys? Holy crap. Yeah, man, I'm expecting lowers. I'm expecting 3.5 cents for Hex at this point. You know, like it's been trying to hold the 21 exponential moving average right here. It's been trying. This is technically, I was telling you, this is exactly where you're supposed to buy the trading strategy, but I was telling you not to because the S&P 500 has a big bearish engulfing candle, signaling that we're going to dump a little bit longer. So you could buy at a little bit cheaper. The cheaper you buy, the more comfortable you are to hold through the craziness and the volatility and of this market. So yeah, I think Hex is going to go lower. And so let's just enjoy the ride down. You know what I mean? Unless you're all in, you're going to enjoy this ride down, you know, like let's get it. So yeah, so the Bitcoin, so what I've been trying to say is that if we take out this is where, if we were to take out 22,339, that this whole structure broke down. Okay. So this whole structure broke down right here. And this means that we're going to set a swing low. That means we're going to chop around and go down. The best case scenario for me, for my trading strategy, is that we actually dump into the 14th, into the Valentine's Day, where I believe we're going to have a rally. So best case scenario, big bearish engulfing candle. Tomorrow, the markets are almost closed now. Tomorrow, when the markets close and they close down, Bitcoin is going to have a dumpy weekend. So that's what I'm hoping for. A nasty, dumpy weekend. I hope that this right here freaks everybody out, right? And then I think that next week we're going to have a rally, and here's why. So as you know, these markets right now are being moved by the Federal Reserve because everybody wants to know if we are going to keep continuing raising rates or not. Now, after the FOMC meeting, and the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said disinflation 13 times, we had an amazing rally, which pretty much we have given it all back now, because all of the different Fed chairmen, there's been like probably 12 guys. You know, the Federal Reserve has like branches in like Texas and Minneapolis and all these different chairmen, and then they have a vote on the board on how much to raise rates. So after we had that massive rally from the FOMC meeting, they've really been fudding. They've been on a FUD campaign. They're trying to get the market to cool off a little bit, because if the markets run away, it's basically a stimmy. You know, the tail is wagging the dog in these markets. Like, nobody cares about PE ratios. They just want to know what the interest rate is going to be so companies can borrow money cheap and invest higher. All that trickles into the economy. It's a giant freaking stimulus, right? So basically, what is the Federal Reserve going to do? They're acting like they're going to keep rates high. They want to get them at about 5%. But I'm calling bullshit as of right now, because on the 14th, we are going to get our first CPI print for 2023. And for the first time, they're only going to use 1 year's of data instead of 2. Why are they doing that? Well, it's because they need to make the CPI look better than it is so that they can stop raising rates because they can't afford it. They can't afford to pay the interest on their own debt. A lot of the debt in the government is actually very short term. So when they roll over that debt, they have to pay these new high interest rates. And they really can't afford it. The Fed is losing money right now. All of the money that the Fed makes, it goes to the Treasury, right? The Treasury is supporting the United States government because of the debt ceiling has not been raised yet. They are in a crunch. They can't raise that much more. Like, everybody's talking about like we're going to have this big recession and all these things are going to happen. But like, I would argue that we have already been in one. Like, dude, look at the S&P 500. It's down 20% from its all-time highs. We've already been in one. I mean, look at this pullback. This is cozy 19. This is the thing, you know? Look at that dip and look at this dip. You're telling me we haven't already been in a recession? We had two quarters of negative GDP consecutive last year. Now the GDP numbers are cooked because the core GDP is down, but the actual like energy exports that we're doing to Europe because of the conflict over there and government spending. That's the only reason we have a positive GDP. Like, we have been in a recession this whole time. It's been negative GDP, core GDP. All right. So like, we have been in here and we've been raising rates into this thing. And I believe that they don't have much more teeth. I believe all they can do is go out here and FUD. So we're going to get 2 CPI prints before the next FOMC meeting where they decide how much to raise rates. Well, these 2 CPI reports are going to be phony. These 2 CPI reports are going to be for 1 year of data instead of 2 year of data. And they changed some other metrics to make things a little bit more rosy. So what I believe is, if we come back here, so now this right here is the Cleveland Fed. Like I said, there's a bunch of different Federal Reserves. So the Cleveland Fed here's what their projections are for the February meeting. All right. And it's going to be easy to beat. So you can see right here for February, year over year percent change, they're talking about a CPI of 6.44%. Right now, the CPI is at 6.5%, which is it's down from 9.5, which is the high. So they're talking about all we got to do to beat expectations is be 0.6% better when we have fake data. Of course, the CPI, of course, we are going to beat expectations. Why does that matter? Okay, remember when the Federal Reserve Chairman said disinflation 13 times and the market had an insane rally the last week? That's why that was there. That's why we listen. That's why we look at macro on this channel. It's a crystal ball into what's going to happen with crypto, right? So just him saying disinflation. And then he had like a luncheon, which I watched the whole thing. He had a bunch of softball questions. He didn't even really talk about anything, and the market rallied. So now we're talking about a fake CPI print on Valentine's Day. That's like fudged numbers. And all it's got to do is beat 6.44% when the last one was 6.5% with 2 years of data instead of 1. Come on. What do you think the market's going to do? It's going to go into a frenzy. It's going to go into another frenzy rally. That's what I believe is going to happen. Of course, it doesn't have to happen. Or maybe it comes back hotter. Like, if we take a look at Germany's January CPI inflation rose. You know, it was expected to have 8.9%. Before it was 8.6%. Now it's 8.7%. Italy came back hot and Brazil came back hot. But the only difference is they're probably not lying. Like so we're gonna beat expectations, in my opinion, and I think it's gonna beat by a lot. And it's gonna cause the market to go into absolute frenzy. So if we go back over here and just take a look at the inflation data one more time, and I'll ghost myself real quick. So if you look right here, what does it say for quarter? So here's their projections for quarter 1 2023, 4.98%. So you're telling me by the end of Q1 we're gonna go from 6.4 to 4.98? Like, how does that make sense? So what is the actual federal funds rate right now? The federal funds rate is between 4.5% and 4.9%. That's what they're charging for debt, right? They're raising that to try to combat the CPI. So if we're at 4.25%, and we're projected by the end of quarter one 2023 to be under 5%, why the hell are they going to raise rates in 2 months? Remember, the next rate hike thing is not until the end of March. So I just don't see if why are they going to dump the market? Why are they going to cause maybe cause a recession when the CPI is projected to be about at the same where the federal funds rate is? All of this is a long rant, and I'm sorry about this, but you have to understand this is the macro side of things. This is our crystal ball, and I'm telling you, they're probably going to pause. So what do we got? We got 2 fake CPI reports that are going to be extremely good. That's going to pump the market. And then we have a possible Fed pause. And we have line that up with this, the accumulation phase. I mean, guys, I know it's hard to switch from like bearish to bullish. I know it's hard to switch gears and stuff like that, but this is what it's telling me. And when you look at like the macro, look at the channels, look at Twitter. It's all doom and gloom. It's all, we're going to crash. Everything's going to crash. We're going to eat bugs and all this stuff like that. This feels like peak bear euphoria to me. Like every time I turn on YouTube, they say, oh, this will change everything. Everybody bought a bunch of cars for low interest rates that they can't afford. And it's the new subprime and it's going to crash everything. You know, like that's all I ever hear about. And I'm sick of it. And like, this is how I kind of like felt. This is kind of how I sold the top at 65K, the second 65K top. I was like, man, I don't know. People are acting too euphoric and like too crazy. And then I looked at this chart right here. I looked at Bitcoin and I saw this double bearish divergence right here. This is where it was right here. Sorry, I hope you're not nauseous. But take a look at this divergence right here. Bam. A higher high, and then on the RSI, a lower low. And not by a little bit. Not by a little bit, by a lot of bit. And you can see the other one right there. The other bearish divs. Bearish divergence inside of bearish divergence. We had BitBoy and all these guys screaming 100K, 150K. Everybody was nuts. It was all over CNBC. Everybody was euphoric and crazy, and NFTs and Bieber buying JPEGs for $1 million and all this shit. I'm like, dude, I'm out. That's when I sold. And now I'm feeling the other way. Now remember, 4 weeks ago, I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, this feels like max pain for Hex. You know, you got people jumping ship. You know, they're going to Zen. You got the SEC. You have Richard meltdown. You had like all these things priced down 97%. Remember, 3 weeks ago, I was saying like, I don't know, guys, I'm getting bullish on Hex, you know, because like all of the FUD from before had already passed through. And that's what I'm feeling in the markets too. Like, I don't know how low this correction is going to go, but I just think that it's a correction and then that we have to go up. And in the macro sense, if we don't go up, we're going into like something really serious. And the Fed knows this. And these guys, they can't tell us like, yeah, we're probably going to pause. Because this shit, like the S&P, like freaking go to 6K. You know what I mean? They can't do that. So like, they got to be like, yeah, no, disinflation is happening. Everything's looking good. And let the markets price it in themselves, you know? So at end of quarter one, inflation under 5%, let's freaking go. You know what I mean? So like I said, don't FOMO, don't get crazy. You know what I mean? But as far as macro sentiment goes, for me, I'm not with all these other macro YouTubers and doom and gloom and trying to get clicks and trying to say CBDCs is going to run our lives and all this shit. Like, nah, man, I'm not with that. I'm taking the counter trade. This is looking good. The best thing that could happen is to get a big dip though. What's up, guys? What's up, Benny Blanco? Hex is the base. Buy Hex first. What's up, Hex Bees? Shout out to you, bro. What's up, Pascal? Crypto is the purest form. We're all gonna make it, bros. Pretty much extinct. Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, and I like to take the counter trade. Like when everybody was, and this, by the way, this is not great for being an influencer, you know, because typically how things trend is like a narrative will come out and then that'll be trending. So then if you'll like tag on to that and tag along, then you'll kind of like pop up. So like if people are watching doom and gloom, like bullshit, you know, like it's all gonna implode, we're all gonna die, the Chinese spy balloon, whatever, right? Once that happens and you jump onto that, you get exposure, you know. But like when everybody was super bullish, I ended up selling the top, you know. But I wasn't popular. I made this channel and I was like, guys, yo, sell Hex. Look at my early videos. It was like 45 cents. I was like, sell Hex now. The shit's going to a penny, and it did, you know. But guess what? I wasn't very popular. Like, I'm blackballed. I was like, dude, you know, like all this rage marketing is gonna implode the whole Hex thing. And I wasn't popular. I was blackballed. I was like ignored. And then when it actually happened, I switched. And then it happened to pump. The only shitty thing is I missed the 1 cent. I didn't get in until high 2 cents. So sell 45 cents, get in high 2 cents. And I'm telling you, I got the same. I know this is, trust me, bro. But I have the same like feeling right now. It's like, okay, guys, you want to talk about recession, you want all that stuff, have fun with that. I'm not participating in your recession. You know, like we've been in it. You know, look at the S&P. It's worse than Cozy 19. We've been here, dude. Like, so I'm good. We broke out of this bear market trend line here for the S&P 500. And I could definitely see the S&P coming down here and testing that trend line again. I could see us testing that, freaking everybody out. But I think that the 14th, we're going to get a rally. If I'm wrong, I'll delete my Twitter like what's his name? Michael Burry. If I'm wrong, I'll disappear. But 14th, fake CPI numbers are coming. Disinflation's coming. Fed has no teeth. They have to pause. And we're gonna get a rally in the S&P, and it's gonna pull up Bitcoin by its bootstraps. What's up, Frederick Andre? It's like Overton window. KKR logs. So if Pulsechain supply is with the sacrificers, won't that mean there won't be much supply at launch? Yeah, that's actually, there won't be much supply at launch. This whole thing, remember, like, this whole thing is designed to pump. That's what Richard does. He does the opposite of what Jack Levin does. He's an inverse Jack Levin. Here, let me show you Zen right here. Damn. No, that's a weekly chart. Hold up. All-time lows. All-time lows. On bullish divergence. Go figure. I don't know why. But all-time lows. You know what I mean? So like the shit is designed to pump. There'll be plenty. There'll be plenty of panic sellers. There'll be plenty of people taking profits, you know. There's a lot of guys, you know, that couldn't get out from Hex because they had so much Hex that they literally can't dump, or they were just like hardcore Hexkins that weren't gonna dump. And so they just like burned all their Hex into PLS. And there's gonna be plenty. I mean, there's people are going to be able to get in, but yeah, I do think that PLS is going to be the showstopper. I think everything else is going to take profits. You know what I mean? I think PLS are actually, I don't know. I think they call it just regular Hex because it's going to be on Pulsechain, but the E Hex and stuff, you know, I see that correcting, and the P Hex, the Pulsechain Hex is really going to do it, because I think this next incoming rally is going to be people that are going to want to, that didn't get into PLS, didn't get into PLSX, shilled by Ivan on Tech, shilled by BitBoy, normies. They're gonna buy Hex so they can trade it for PLS, and so they can be early. So I think that, yeah, I think PHEX is gonna dump like crazy. I think PHEX is gonna dump like crazy when and it's gonna be a swap. I think people are gonna be swapping into PLSX into PLS. You know, I think really people are sleeping on PLSX a lot too. You know, like that has buyback and burn functions. You know, like I really see like this thing melting faces. I really think it's going to be a sleeper. I think a lot of people are going to sell their PLSX into PLS, the guys who missed the initial sack. And I think it's going to dump hard. PHEX and PLSX are going to dump hard. And then I think it's going to come back with a vengeance just from token metrics. You know what I mean? That's what I think. But what do I know? Let's see, Frederick Andre, RH wasn't popular either, and he had some good calls too. Yeah, here's the thing though, good calls are not popular, you know? Like, nobody wants to hear the truth. And sometimes the truth is ugly. But the people who can like handle it, who can disassociate their feelings from their bags, they can capitalize on that. And the people that can't are the ones that get wrecked. People that emotionally trade, overly FOMO, or fear and FOMO runs this market, you know? So if you can disconnect from your emotions when you come to this in crypto, you will be one of the ones that make it. And remember, crypto is about survival. It's the last man standing, basically. You know, as long as you can make it to the next bull market, you're literally the Wolf of Wall Street. Everything's going up. It's this. This is what a bull market looks like right here. The only time you cry is because, oh shit, I could have had 111% instead of 56%. I suck. You know, all you got to do is just kind of like make it there, survive. So, anyways, sorry about that rant. I forgot where I was even going with that. CWR, you missed a good question from Funding Jim above. All right, let's go check out what's Funding Jim. Shout out to Funding Jim. He's a true Wolfpack OG. Guys, he's been here since a long time. Dude, he's been here since like 400 subs. Like a year ago or so. Funding Jim, BTC is just jealous of Bored Apes on ETH. Dude, this shit is crazy, man. This thing, these ordinals, gonna take down BTC. Somebody paid a Bitcoin for a Satoshi. Clown world, bro. What did I miss from you? One sat is worth 0.00002 cents. One BTC ordinal is worth, God knows. Benny Blanco, shout out to you, buddy. There's no USA anymore. It's a world government. Yeah, sadly it is, but the tide is shifting. And the only way that I think that they're going to be able to control this, sadly, is through this AI thing. You know what I mean? Like, the government has been lying to us since the beginning of time. The only reason that we know that now is because of the information age, is because of Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin. The only reason we know that is because of the internet. You know, like, so we can trade ideas with each other. There's, you know, we can figure things out. We can go down the rabbit hole. So the only way, you know, that they could possibly maybe contain this is, you know, like AI search bots, AI, like Bing has incorporated AI into their search engine platform, which I signed up to. But yeah, they're really going to use that to promote to stop misinformation and disinformation. You know, that I think that's really their only hope right now, because technology has really been freeing us. We've really been able to see all the BS that they're doing now. Like, it's out in the open instead of hidden before. They used to be able to control the narrative. Right now, they can't control the narrative. I think it's burbling up. I think people are about done and sick of this shit. And I'm bullish on humanity. I don't think that we're gonna slip into one world order like that book 1984. I don't think that we're gonna slip into that. I think people are gonna wise up, and I think that they're gonna stand up, and what we're gonna see in the next coming elections and things like that. But I'm bullish. I think people are getting red pilled and based. Where's the 11K and pray? It still can happen. But remember, we think in terms of probabilities and not certainties. So like, Bitcoin can still come down here to 11K. It absolutely can come down here and melt your face. But what are the probabilities? Look, this is the long-term bullish parabola right here. Like, I mean, it takes Cozy 19. It goes all the way back to July 17. It's going to have to break this, which it hasn't yet. Even this is the SBF FUD right here. This is the FTX implosion. Look how it rides this trend line. Tell me that this trend line right here is not relevant. It went through Cozy 19, 2018 bear market, and all the way back before the 20K rally. And so to get to 11K, I mean, we first got to break through. Let's say we come down here, consolidate. Let's say we get one of these bad boys right here. We come down here. We still got to break down 17. If we come down to 17K, I'm going to be 80% in. I'm going to be 80% of my whole portfolio in at that point. So, and you know, like, I've been experienced. I sold 2 tops of markets. You know, like, I am right here going to follow this trend line. Yes, of course it can break down, but 11K is down here, bro. Just to give you context, 11K is down here below the lowest pivot. First, we got to break down out of this. Like, when we think in probabilities, it's like the probability is low. You know what I mean? And you always want to play. You always want to get play the high probability plays. You know, like, let's say I dealt you, we're playing blackjack, and I dealt you 18. Are you gonna hit? Sure, you could hit and be like, yeah, watch this, bam, and you could get like a 3. You know what I mean? Boom, 21. See, I told you so. Yeah, you could. It could happen. It could, but chances are it's not. And let's say it does happen and you do hit. Guess what, though? If you keep playing that strategy, you'll be done in like 25 minutes. So you have to play the strategy. You'd be like, okay, I got an 18. I'm going to hold. Yeah, you know, like the dealer might hit, but my probabilities are good. So, yeah, the probabilities of 11K in prey are much smaller now. We're going to have to get like some crazy FUD event. We're going to... Guys, get me going. Benny Blanco, this is your fault. You got me talking about the NWO and CBDCs and all this stuff, and they rug me, bro. What's up, Last? Living up to your name. Last one in the chat. I guess I'll shut this off. Hey, Last, do you have any questions or anything like that? Anyways, I just wanted to say, I don't know where I got rugged, but I just wanted to say that, do you use CowSwap? No, I don't use CowSwap. I mean, I remember when that shit came out, though. Hey guys, before I go, because it's got to be an hour, but I just want to say, okay, I'm not living my life worrying about a CBDC. I'm not living my life waiting for an implosion in the debt markets. I'm not living my life in a recession mindset. All right, I'm looking for opportunities. I'm trying to spot trends. I'm not looking at some of the craziest crackpot theories that have the lowest probabilities of working out. I'm looking at macro markets. I'm looking at the Fed. I'm looking at the S&P. I'm looking at crypto. I'm trying to spot trends. I'm trying to capitalize, dominate, and profit. That's in the moment right now. I'm not looking at 2030. You know, if I have an opportunity to make a difference for what I believe in, I will. But I'm not going to sit here and worry about balloons and all this shit. It's not happening. I'm worrying about profits. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm on Twitter 10 hours a day. So, and I suggest you do the same. You know, like spot the trends, live in the moment, enjoy your life, and stop it with the CBDC thing. So hopefully that got through to you guys. What do you think about Optimism coin? I think it's pumping like crazy. It's definitely on my list. Yeah, winner's mindset. I gotta be honest with you, bro. I don't know that much about Optimism, but it's definitely on my list. If you want to know what's going to trend in the next bull market, just look at this. If you want to know what's going to trend and how hard, it's AI. Well, you know that, right? It's AI, it's Hex, it's Optimism, it's DYDX. I don't like Aptos, but it's gonna go. And then, you know, like some of the shit like FTM, I'm big into that. It's actually my hodl position. I didn't sell my FTM, I wrote it down, so I get one of these. Because I loved FTM so much, but like I'm not that into it anymore because, you know, if there's Pulsechain, who cares? Funny Jim, shout out to you, man. I gotta cut the stream, but I don't want to. I could go for freaking 3 more hours, but love you guys. Thank you for supporting this channel. Like and subscribe. Join the Wolf Pack. Also, come to the Telegram chat. It's free. We chill, share.